this thing is small. So I'm being joined today by Matt, who's also a gaming enthusiast. And we're going to go through the breakdown of just what the Ouya is capable of doing, and if it's really this big, bad machine that everyone makes it out to be. I mean...
Round 1. Fight!
So Matt, what did you think about the Ouya as far as its graphical capabilities, as far as emulators go, and as far as some of the original content for it made by users?
Okay, first and foremost, I think it's a very good system.
Yeah, I agree.
In my opinion, one of the best systems I've ever bought in my entire life. The first thing was I read a lot of complaints about the controller, and I thought the controller was good. I don't know what people thought. They said it's uncomfortable. My biggest complaint is the L&R.
Right.
It's a little sluggish.
Yeah. It's not the most common trigger.
It's good. It's not as good as an Xbox 360 controller, but it's almost. But it feels comfortable.
It's a matter of getting used to, I think.
Yeah. But as far as emulation, I think it's the best system ever to have emulation on it.
I agree with you. As far as an emulation console for the TV,
it's a Tegra 3. It's powerful enough.
Absolutely. It's more than enough power to emulate N64, even PlayStation. PlayStation 1, by default, if you don't enhance the graphics, it looks like a PlayStation 1 the way you remember it. But one thing I didn't even know you can really do with PlayStation 1 games, because I haven't even seen it done on PlayStation 3, is it can actually output those games. It can upscale those games to 1080p, and it looks incredibly clean. The only problem with it, as far as the only game I really tested was Tekken 3, and you do see some slowdown on it. So as a recommendation, it's a novelty that you can output it in 1080p, but you're probably going to want to stick with the regular resolution of it, just because that plays perfectly. As far as Tekken 3 goes, there's a lot of other games that have to be discovered. How was your experience with the PlayStation emulator?
As of right now, I haven't been able to get anything right. I got a couple of games running, but it was not really worth it. I mean, I'm sure they'll get it going.
Oh yeah. I mean, more emulators are going to come out. I mean, when did the console come out? On the 25th?
I got mine. Retail. I got mine at GameStop on the 25th, and I will say that I've played it every day since I got it. I haven't been able to put it down.
Every single day. I'll be honest, I've been trying to play it every single day. Every night I come home from work, I would play it, but I find myself falling asleep on the couch, to be honest, because I get so tired from work. But
if you like retro games, this is it. I mean,
this is your retro game machine.
Yeah,
this is the machine to own for all those old school games. You know what? It's not meant to replace the Xbox One. It's not meant to replace the PlayStation 4. Get those machines, whichever one you're interested in. But you get the Ouya. It's a novelty that goes aside with it, and I assure you that you will be playing it if you're a fan of the old school games.
That's right. It uses different controllers.
Yeah, wireless. The perfect.
You can seamlessly jump in and out of games. So you can play Super Nintendo. Okay, let me go to TurboGrafx.
Yeah.
Let me go to Sega Genesis. You can't really do that.
2 seconds.
And anybody who says, "Oh, I could do all this on my computer," well, you probably can, but you can't do it the same way. You can't lay back and play it on your TV like you can with the Ouya.
Yeah. Plus, could you picture a party of people hanging out the way it used to be?
Right.
If you're with a group of people, 4 people hanging out and sitting in front of a 27-inch computer monitor, I mean,
right.
What would that even look like?
But first and foremost, the emulation to me was the most important thing.
Yeah.
What about you?
Emulation was my core reason to get the Ouya. I actually found some of those independent games to be really good. I already bought one of them, and it's a real worthwhile one.
So hopefully this is just a taste of what's to come.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's beautiful because now everyone can make a game. You're gonna be the Ouya already has, I heard, 700 and something games.
Planned, you're right.
I'm sure 600 and something of them are crap. Most likely.
But
I'm sure there are gems.
Yeah.
There are gems in there too. You know, you sift through the sand and you find out, and you'll know about it with the Ouya. But as far as the value for the money, I mean, how can you go wrong? Put the indie games aside, which some of them are worth it. You should check it out for that, not just emulation. But okay, put the indie games aside. Let's say it was just an emulation machine. How can you go wrong with a $99 console that emulates games dating back to the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, proven games that are fantastic for Nintendo, for Super Nintendo, Neo Geo. I'm looking forward to MAME on that. When MAME comes out on that.
MAME comes out. That could change everything. I mean,
oh yeah.
Imagine building an arcade cabinet and putting a Ouya inside.
Yeah. It's got its flaws, but it's in its infancy.
Ouya is not perfect, so I've stated all the stuff that I like about it, that I really like about it. Now I will say the things that I don't like about it. One of the best features about it is that it's open.
Yeah.
That's also one of the worst features, I think, because I think a lot of game developers might steer clear of the Ouya because they're scared of piracy.
Yeah,
because
that seems to be...
You can sideload apps and stuff like that. That's one of the only bad things.
I understand that, to be honest.
That's the good thing, but it's also the bad thing.
It's true. As an open source console, Ouya has promised to somehow fight this piracy of the independent games that are being made on there. However, because it's an open source platform, there could also be fear of making games for it at all, just because they won't see the money for it, which, again, is an understanding. That's one advantage of the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, because you have to pay for those games in order to play, to own them. But at the same token, they don't really make those games very obvious. You got to really dig in to find them, and there's a lot of indie games on the 360 that I still don't know of, and I will probably never care enough to read into it because. Let's face it, the Xbox One is coming already. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like the Xbox 360. I don't care that they're released yet a third version of the console. That's great if you want to extend the life of it. But, once the Xbox One comes out, a lot of people are going to be switching over. I can understand from a price point of view that they may not do it on day one. That's fine. But let's just say that this is the last year. I say that 360 was quite a successful console as far as consoles go in general, from infancy to the end. I think it's the longest running console without a successor. But anyway, my only gripe would be the controller. Maybe I don't really these latency issues and latency issues. Now I've read online people were like, "Oh, the latency is so bad." What do you think? I don't think it's that bad. I'll be honest. Maybe I just haven't had the chance to sit there and tinker with it. I play the games. For me, they feel normal. I've not sat there and really pinpointed the very millisecond that I push a button to its response. It's not something I notice off the bat, and maybe I don't know what your experiences, but maybe I'm just kind of being lazy about it. I hate to say that term because I like to play my games. I'm serious about my games. I found it to be perfectly enjoyable. You know what's a good test for that? To be honest, I haven't done that yet. Street Fighter.
There you go.
Street Fighter would be the ultimate test because you need to be quick response. You need that to go right away. Right. If you're playing with somebody else, if they're good at Street Fighter, because that's the ultimate test. Actually, I guess maybe I'll do that in this video or the next.
That's it for me. What about you?
Ouya, get it.
Get it.
Good freaking machine. Don't throw it in the garbage. I hope that whoever threw it in the trash can, they really just did it for the video and took it out. And if not, that's a shame because you know what? You could have put it on eBay for $5 at least. You could have made something off of it.
It's one of the best consoles I've ever bought.